Welcome to In the Green Room. I'm Kinga.
And I'm Chet.
I'm Richard.
I'm Janae.
I'm Wendy.
And we are wine tasting summer sippers under $20.
Basically a 20 and under, yeah.
And we shopped at the Far Away Wine Store on Indian School on 32nd Street because we are supporting local business, which is being very sustainable. What do you think about that, Janae?
I think it's wonderful. I think Richard has just selected some lovely wine, for us to try today, especially for the lighter foods.
You only tasted one. You haven't even seen the other one. Just wait.
I have great faith in you. I have great faith in you.
And so far, Wendy, what are you thinking of this
what are we drinking?
Sauvignon Blanc?
What are we
Sauvignon
drinking?
Blanc from Marlborough. Has a typical nose as a Sauvignon Blanc from Marlborough. You know it's going to be very citrusy, but it's maybe not my favorite Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc I've ever had.
There's only about 200 of them.
Yeah, there's only about 200.
Right.
Yeah,
that's all.
I like that the citrus isn't overpowering as some of them, but I think it lacks complexity. It's nice, super drinkable, easy, but maybe slightly boring.
Would you consider it dry?
Yeah, not crazy dry, but certainly not sweet at all. I wouldn't even call it semi-sweet. It definitely classified as dry.
And can anybody taste, or can you on the nose, the pineapple and passion fruit?
Definitely pineapple on the nose, yes.
Yes. So, Chet, did you drink any wine in LA?
No, not really, no. More tequila.
More tequila.
Because the venues there don't really have that high quality options for wine.
They don't. No, I agree.
Well, actually, the stadium I went to last night, SoFi, has incredible options.
Right.
But the Forum had pretty average options. But either way, I feel like I usually enjoy wine more with like dinner or something, but for a show, I like a cocktail or beer usually.
Well, I went to Rolling Stones, and you were at Rolling Stones. I didn't see you.
That was awesome
I ran into
show.
Rachel. Wasn't that a great show?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
But they didn't have any wine. They didn't even have any canned wine. I actually had to have beer. I had two beers.
Horror.
Right? My stomach was like huge the next day from all that beer.
I didn't make look. I've heard a few reviews, but I want to hear
He
your
looked great.
opinion.
Like, hard to believe he was 80.
Yeah, they still sound great too. It was awesome.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And Chet, you never heard my Rolling Stones story or my what happened at the concert. And it's a quick story, but it's super funny. We had this guy. Have you heard this story yet?
I think so.
So this guy was fairly close to us, and he was maybe 85, and he was a cantankerous curmudgeon. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to use any profanity. And he was telling...
Is it necessary?
Well, he was telling all of us that we had to sit down.
Right. No dancing
And
allowed
he
at
was
Rolling
being
Stone.
mean about it. And we had really great seats, and our seats were expensive, and we were all dancing, having fun. And we were there was a group of people from Hawaii, there were some people from Switzerland, and right in front of us, there were like 4 guys that worked at Boeing. I made some jokes about, oh, this is what happens when the planes go down. You guys are partying, and then you wake up early and working on our planes. They thought that was funny.
Right.
They thought it was funny.
Sure.
The one guy called me a badass. But anyway, the one guy in front of us, his name was Michael. I'll tell him to listen to today's show. And he started videotaping this old guy because he was being so mean. And he looked directly at me and he goes, "You need to sit down." And I go, "I'm not sitting down." So he pushed me, and the guy got on video. So then he left. He's like, "That's it. I'm getting the authorities." So he left, and he was gone for like 15 minutes. And then 5 cops come in their official uniforms and all that stuff.
Right.
And they come up to me, and I'm like, I didn't tell him to go do this. I didn't want him to go get the cops. I wanted to just enjoy the concert. But I was, to be honest with you, my friend Don sat down, and a bunch of the people sat down, and I was about to sit down. So all of a sudden the cops come up and they say, do you want to prosecute? And I said, no, he's just a cantankerous curmudgeon. I said it loud enough so he could hear. And they said, okay, so you don't want to prosecute? I said, no. And they said, well, we need to talk to him. So they grab him and they take him out. And then Michael, the boy in front of, I'm going to call him a boy, he was 41. He goes with the whole group, and he's like, I need to make sure he doesn't tell any lies. And he leaves. So they're gone for like 20 minutes.
Meanwhile, the concert goes on.
And then, and I'm having fun, and we're not sitting down, and then everybody starts clapping. The guy's gone, and we all get up, and we're all dancing. And then the guy comes back, and he had to say sorry to me. So anyway.
They definitely should have kicked him out. That's ridiculous.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Well, you should have said, I want him gone. You can say that. He pushed me. I don't want to be around him anymore.
Well, it's on video, so but
it's on you that he was allowed back into the show. If you would have put your foot down and said,
but he's old.
Yeah, no, somebody that's like that, that's trying to control other people at a show, and people are just trying to enjoy themselves. Get them out of there. They're just
that's true.
They're just ruining other people's times.
That's a good point.
I can't stand people at a show like that. They're trying to tell other people where they should be or how they should enjoy the show.
That's a good point.
As long as you're not interfering with the artist or going onto the stage or interfering with any of the sound stuff, or hurting anybody else, as long as none of those boxes are being checked, those people should be able to enjoy the show.
But then you got to hear this. When I went up to get a second beer with Don, people were high-fiving us and they were cheering us on like we were celebrities because.
Well, I think that a lot of venues should provide, especially like even some of the smaller venues here, and have like an area where if so that if you have people in front of you, behind you that are bothered by you standing up. If you want to go stand somewhere and kind of move it a little bit, I mean, some of this music, it's hard to sit in your,
Well, to me, you stay home or you watch it on TV if you don't want to be dancing.
No one's going to tell me.
I've never seen a Rolling Stone concert where people in the front didn't stand up and dance.
Come on. Yes, exactly.
I don't know if this guy's first Rolling Stones concert. I doubt it.
Well, you just cantankerous and curmudgeon-y, who knows?
No, he sounds like an asshole.
He was.
Yeah. Why are you using these silly words?
Back to the wine tasting.
That's right.
Back to the wine tasting.
He needed more wine.
He did need more wine. Yes, he did.
A little tequila would have called it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm 100% sure. So, would you buy this? Chet, did you taste yours yet? You didn't tell us if you like it.
I have been actually kind of letting my palate refresh, but I'm about to try it.
Okay, I'm having another little sip. Would you buy this?
I would, actually. I mean, I agree with Wendy that it's not maybe as complex, but I think my experience with a lot of the Marlboro Sauvignon Blancs is like probably yours. It's very harsh and they taste very young and they don't, but with food, I think especially with like a...
Yeah, this is, I would sit around, I would not sit around and sip this by the pool or something like that, but definitely with food.
Right.
Because of the acidity, this really cuts through food. I mean...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would sip this by the pool.
Okay.
Summer sippers by the pool, of course. I'm a thumbs in.
Yeah,
but
with
thumbs
what,
up.
beef?
Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
What the fuck does that mean?
In what? And where?
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Cheers. Cheers.
Okay.
And we're here to make people laugh. So saving the planet.
One show
at a
time.
One wine at a time. I like to say. Hey.
I think you can reach chat.
Cheers.
I can almost reach Danae maybe. Richard, it's going to be a stretch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we can make it. Okay, good.
So Colin, would you like a sip of this? Okay. So we want to plug his plumbing company. What is it called?
Dobash Plumbing.
Dobash Plumbing. What's the phone number?
I don't know the top of my head.
Just look up
Okay,
Dobash
okay,
Plumbing
Dobash
if you're in
Plumbing.
Arizona.
Dobash Plumbing.
Thanks.
So Richard, what of the wines that you brought would be the one that you would sit by the pool then?
Right.
Well, we'll just see, won't we?
Yes, okay, so let's move to the next one.
Yeah.
Are we ready? What's our
Yeah,
second?
that's what I'm saying. Let's see
Ready
what
for
it
the
is.
next one?
Yes, we're ready for the one
Or
from.
sip it.
Okay.
What would you go with
Now,
next?
ordinarily, I wouldn't rinse out a glass with water between tastings.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, I mean, you emptied this glass, smell that glass. It
It's very
smells
strong.
very
Right,
strong. So
that's why I did
I
that.
did
Yes.
rinse it with a little water
Yeah, even
before
still,
the next
after
one.
I rinse it,
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is that pine also that we're tasting, or what you know? Or the like the residual aroma that we're experiencing? What is it? It's just the wine. I mean, there's
Yeah, no, it's,
yeah.
Are we
That's
pouring
a-
out $20 wine?
It's like a sip.
I guess so. I guess we are. Here we go,
Yeah,
next
that's
one.
right.
There we are. What are we trying next?
we're trying Curran Grenache Blanc
Ooh,
from Santa Barbara County, one of my favorite wineries.
You got very excited when you saw that bottle.
Yeah,
and
because I
you
love
picked
her
that one.
wines.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
But while you're
Yes.
opening that, let's talk to Wendy. She just got back from Germany. How was the
I
wine in
did.
Germany?
It's fantastic, actually, and I think
Mm-hmm.
it's underutilized or underimported in the U.S. for sure, especially for somebody like me, especially when it's hot here in the summer. I'm all about
Mm-hmm.
crisp, refreshing whites, and they were knocking my socks off. Weissburgunder, I really, really, really enjoyed. Apparently, it's
How do you say it?
Weissburgunder.
Weiss.
Yeah, I'm
Burgunder.
maybe not pronouncing it totally right, but probably close.
Okay, okay.
And so I think the grape that it's made from is essentially a Pinot Blanc grape, but it's like apparently like a young member of that family of grapes, and I really enjoyed that. Gewürztraminer is popular there too. There's another.
You went to a championship soccer game.
I
Did they have
did.
good wines
Oh.
at the
No
game?
wine at the game.
Okay, no wine at the
Yeah,
game.
It was a
Okay.
semifinal Champions
Mhm.
League game,
Um,
and it was all about beer. I mean, it is
Yeah,
Germany
they
after
are
all.
really
Actually, speaking of sustainability, it was very cool. In the stadium, the cups were very thick plastic cups, like very high quality. And when you returned your cup back to the stand, you got €2 back.
so good.
So there was like
Zero
no,
waste.
yeah,
Oh,
and no
zero
trash
waste.
all over the
Right,
stadium. The
right.
stadium was like
Reusable
spotless,
cups.
Right.
reusable
Oh, nice.
cups.
That is so smart.
So
I
smart.
can't believe they don't implement that here because
Me
it
too.
eliminates so many jobs where they have to clean up afterwards.
Well,
Like,
so many.
yeah.
Like most people weren't even leaving the cups around, and then the cups that were left around, like I kind of stayed late, letting the crowd clear out. My friend and I, and we saw this guy walking back with like a stack of cups like
Right.
this big, and he was probably gonna get
Get
like
a bunch of
50
money.
euros
Right,
back,
right.
which is like $60 or $70. It reminded me of the people that collect golf balls, you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
from the bottom of the
Yeah.
pond. I was like, I could just move over here and make a living.
Let's
collecting
go.
cups.
Right.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go be sustainable and just get the cups. What a
Were
great
you
job.
in one area, or did you travel, throughout, the region and try different wines?
Well, I was only
or
there a
foods?
week, so I went to Munich and then to Heidelberg. I went on a day trip down to Garmisch too, which is like in the Alps.
I love
but-
Garmisch. I skied
yeah.
there.
Oh my
before.
god, it was
Yes.
mind blowing.
And she said everybody in the spa is naked.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
they-
typical. Yes,
it's
it's
much-
very
they are
typical in
much
European
less-
spas that
Which
it's
I was a little
clothing
shocked.
optional.
It's-
Have you never been in a locker room before?
Well, not a co-ed one with men and women
Yeah,
naked.
yeah, clothing
Oh, it's
optional.
a co-ed spa.
clothing
Okay.
optional.
Well, yeah, that is unique.
Yeah. So the front of the
I thought
spa.
you meant it was like a
Yeah.
women's side locker room style where
Yeah.
they're
No,
naked.
no, it's a co-ed spa and
Yeah, clothing optional.
Yeah.
clothing optional.
And in the sauna, none of those men were wearing clothing.
Yeah, they're much less hung up about the human body than we are.
Oh, yeah, way more
She
comfortable.
immediately texted me.
I was like, girl, you gotta see this.
Yeah,
It was quite an experience. Yeah, it was
fabulous
amazing.
food in Munich,
Yeah,
right? I
yeah,
love Munich.
yeah.
It's like so many people don't
It's an
realize
awesome
what an
city.
amazing city that
It's
Munich
such a cool
is.
city.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, okay, I wanted to say that I love this wine.
Did you get some more?
Right.
I wanted to say that this is like
Yeah.
amazing, and I feel like I like this one
See?
better.
Mm.
This one would definitely be
This is
so far my
delish.
favorite.
Can I have the bottle back?
Now that I've had this one, I
Texas
feel like
over?
this is the one that I would
Mm.
definitely go buy. This is amazing. How much was this one?
Under 20, 18
Outstanding.
something, yeah. And
Yeah.
incidentally, these, this,
That's really good.
the alcohol in this was only 12.5, which I appreciate.
Okay, why? Why do you appreciate that?
Because
little
lower
lower.
alcohol wines,
I like it too.
you don't need to have high alcohol wines.
Agreed.
Yeah. Lower
So meaning that you
alcohol.
don't get as buzzed.
Yes.
Okay, which is okay. So
Yeah.
you can sip on it,
Yes.
not worry. Okay.
Traditionally, wines
Yes.
were never made
Should
up
be.
into the 14s and
Yeah,
above
and
Right.
typically the
Right.
American
until that
ones
started
tend to be.
in
Higher.
California in the
Yes,
80s.
Mhm.
exactly.
But this is love. Now, here's an interesting thing.
That is lovely.
Grenache is one of my favorite grapes. Now, this Grenache is one of these grapes that has three kind of different grapes. There's Grenache Noir, which is the red grape. There's Grenache Blanc, which is this, and there's Grenache Gris. It's like Pinot Noir. You have Pinot Noir, you have Pinot Noir Blanc, you have Pinot Noir Gris, or also known as Pinot Grigio. Okay, So what's the difference? Well, it's the skin color. Obviously, the Grenache Rouge has a dark skin. You get a lot of pigment from it. The Blanc has practically no pigment, but the Gris, which means gray in French.
Wait, what does it mean?
Gris, G-R-I-S,
Yes.
means gray.
Oh, okay.
Gray.
Okay.
So it's not light. It's not. So it's gray.
Interesting. Okay.
It's
a
just
Gris
you know.
day.
It's a
And so
Gris.
that
Gris.
grape
Oh, okay.
has enough pigment to actually give it some color if you give it some skin contact, more than a typical white grape would. So they also make a Grenache Gris, which I love, but this is a Grenache Blanc, and this is made in Santa Barbara. And
Is Santa Barbara? Is it a big wine region?
oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
wonderful.
Yes, yes.
And this is it's a husband and wife. His last name is Delfonso. It has a different label, and her last name is Curran. I'm trying to remember her first name, but them offhand I can't. But they're wonderful winemakers, and I would just love her
That
stuff.
is-
Chet, remember we went up
So
to that
elegant.
wedding for Blake, for cousin Blake, and we took these.
This is
Were you
lovely.
on that trip?
It has
Yeah.
like a sweetness
Yeah,
without being sweet. I can't, right?
Yeah,
we
it's
took
really
the
good.
shuttles
It
to
is a little
the.
sweetness,
So,
right?
so we went to a wedding
Wow.
for his
It's
cousin,
not crazy bad.
and there was a
Don't
everybody was staying at the
confuse.
Four Seasons, and we took multiple shuttles. They bust all the wedding party
Mhm.
to the winery, and there was this beautiful romantic dinner
Yes.
in the winery. Do you remember that with chandeliers?
Oh yeah, it was
and-
amazing.
That's
Yeah.
what
Unbelievable,
Santa
and like a
Barbara is
cave.
known for,
Sounds
yes,
great.
yeah,
It was
no,
unreal.
Santa Barbara is.
That was in Santa Barbara?
Yes.
That's
What
the
was the
beginning
winery?
of the adult
I don't-
playground.
I don't
It
remember
just
that.
keeps
Do you
getting
remember?
better as you go north.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
You know, I lived in Santa Barbara in the early 90s, like 91, 92, 93. And ran a wine bar there, actually, in downtown Santa
Oh.
Barbara.
Oh, okay.
And I loved the wines there.
Well, the wines were amazing, and what I loved about this wedding is everybody got there a couple days before the wedding, and they encouraged you to not sit by somebody you knew on
Yeah,
the shuttle
that's
bus.
nice.
Right.
So you're meeting people from all over the country that have come to see, them get married, and you're meeting new people. It was really fun.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that too.
So
I have
anyway,
a funny story about Santa Barbara. It was in the mid-'80s, and like every other tourist, my cousin went to UCSB, by the way, lives in Santa Barbara. But my girlfriend and I rented a convertible Mustang like every other tourist that comes to here,
Nice. Yeah.
and we drove up, the coast from LAX, and
Not bad.
we said, well, we weren't going to make a plan about where we were going to stay, and I had already, been blessed with a pretty blooming career. And we decided that we were going to stay at the Biltmore, and I'm not sure of what the price would be, but we thought, well, what the heck. So I pulled up, and I noticed there was a lot of gentlemen walking around in black suits, black Ray-Bans, very seriously looking people, and I said, and they walked right over to our car and like looked in, and I was like,
Yeah.
what's this? It happened to be that Ronald Reagan
was in
and
town, yes.
Nancy
Wow.
were having lunch
Yeah.
on the patio because
Wow.
their ranch was up behind. And
Wow.
and it's funny because we laugh about it now because we paid like $280, I think it was, to stay at the Biltmore. Now it's like $2,000 or $3,000 a night, but it was really quite the experience. And it was before they had renovated them and still had the beautiful chintz, like kind of 1930s deco. I mean, it was just beautiful, and
I
it
bet.
was, it wasn't quite as, it was still very, casually, just gorgeous, elegant, casual elegance, but it wasn't quite as, hoity-toity as it is now. It was just beautiful. So it was quite a fun
And this is
thing.
the Biltmore Hotel,
Yes, right in
which you
Santa
just
Barbara.
mentioned today that
It's
it
the
sold
Four
for
Seasons.
$800 million.
Oh, no, the one here. This is in Santa Barbara.
Oh,
yeah, the one
okay,
in Santa Barbara.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but yes, yeah.
But today
The
she
Biltmore-
mentioned that the Biltmore Hotel here.
just
Arizona
sold for
Biltmore?
Yes.
Really?
Who bought it? It was owned by Waldorf.
Yeah, it was a consortium of a British private equity fund, and I forget the other.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Well, what does everybody think
Yes,
about? How would
I
you
like
rate this one?
Yeah.
Because I love it. Like this is my
No,
style.
It's really nice.
On a scale from 1 to 10,
Yeah.
I give this one a 10.
Now this one, it says, perfect as a patio wine to sit by itself. It also pairs
Absolutely.
extremely well with spicy
Yes.
foods,
Yeah, I can
Right.
see it with the spicy.
Yes,
Mexican, Thai,
Mhm.
Asian, and Indian cuisine.
Mm.
Sure, because again, plenty of acidity in this wine.
Yes.
Mhm.
Um,
How are the tannins on this? How would you? Are there any tannins?
not to speak of. You don't get a lot of tannins out of white wines
Right.
generally.
I'm definitely getting the fruit and the acid from it.
Yeah.
It's not. There's nothing wrong with it. Just it's just not. It's not my style.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hope one of these ones will be.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I would have picked the Drylands actually over this one. Believe it or not.
So,
Oh, really?
so Dryland would be above this one. Okay, all right, this is good.
But honestly, I probably wouldn't buy either one of them. But I wouldn't be mad if somebody poured it for me at a restaurant. I'd send it back, but I wouldn't choose purposely have either of them probably again.
So you wouldn't go buy a bottle of it, but if someone poured you in,
Yeah, I
you'd be
wouldn't.
like, okay.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't
I
complain.
wouldn't complain or tell them to pour me another, but
Mhm.
I wouldn't order a second.
Well, Chet, I'm so glad you're back, and yes, we're celebrating Mother's Day
Yeah,
tonight.
happy Mother's Day once again.
Thank you, and it was so sweet. He called me a few times, and it was
Aw.
adorable because the day before or 2 days before, he called me and said, "If you're not gonna be upset, is it okay if I stay and miss? It'll be the first Mother's Day I miss, but I'm gonna be on this like comedy. I'm doing this comedy thing, and it's some podcast, Kill Tony or something. Anyhow, and so I said, absolutely, you have my blessing, and then we'll just celebrate again. So
Yeah,
thank
thanks
you.
for letting me stay. It was a lot of fun.
So you missed a really great night. We had an amazing dinner with everybody. We went up to that rooftop place, and Owen was serving us, and we had great wines.
Very fun,
and
very fun.
It was very fun. The whole crew was there. It was a really nice time. So,
I'm glad it was fun.
and at lunch, I had lunch with Rachel, and then we went shopping for my mom. So, anyway, that's what you missed. But okay, so back to the wine, Richard.
What about it?
Well, I think this one, it's very like mellow is how I would
Right.
describe it, but like I like it though. I think
No,
it's
it's
good.
Yeah.
a very well made wine, and I'm very fond of their wines.
To me, this one's like a 10. Okay, now if I'm going to compare these two, this one I would buy again and again. This one, depending on what we were eating,
Well,
yes. But that one, that's going to be
There's a
like
lot
a staple
more
for me. I love it.
New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs than there are Grenache Blancs
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
around, so.
Yeah.
So it's more
I'm
rare.
not
This
even
is
sure if
not,
I've had
it's
a
not,
Grenache
well, it's just
Blanc.
not that common.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love it. It's fantastic.
Grenache Gris is even less common.
Right.
Yeah.
I like them both.
Well,
So
I'm
which
gonna-
one are we going to go to next? Are we going to do the German wine or the Arizona wine?
Well, the Arizona wine is a rosé.
Oh, then we want to finish with that, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yes.
would. Although this
That's
is
smart.
a little sweeter,
Because you
you
would
could
always
do
go
it either way,
Wine,
frankly.
rosé, red.
I often, when I was doing a lot of wine tasting professionally, when I was a wine buyer, I would judge a white wine on how it would taste after I drank a bunch of red.
Interesting.
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And when it's that would be key to me, that this was something special that really stood out.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can you just play with your palate a little bit and see what happens when because the general wisdom is that you drink all whites.
Mhm.
And if you go to a trade tasting, there's 500 wines.
Mhm.
You go around, drink all whites, and I'm going back and drink all the
Right,
rosés, and I'm
no.
going back. No, it doesn't actually. It's not very practical, right? So you kind of have to learn to.
So how sweet are we talking on this one?
How
Because historically,
sweet it is to
Yeah.
drink this.
Oh, so this
Riesling
next one
wine.
is going to be really sweet?
Well, it's going to be sweeter than these.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
yeah, I usually don't
It's a
enjoy
later
sweet
heart.
wine, but
I
I'll
don't
still
either.
try it.
Yeah,
Well,
typically
yes.
I don't either. And I was
I'll still
telling
try it.
them,
You'll-
it was
you'll
interesting
just-
being in Germany. I told them my experience with Riesling is with them being sweet. Because in the US, 90% of the Rieslings I've ever been served were pretty sweet.
Mhm.
In Germany, they were like, what do you mean they were sweet? Like, all the Rieslings I had there were super dry and super amazing. So,
Interesting.
yeah. So,
Where does this
kind
one
of
fall?
hoping we were going to get a dry one. But that's okay. And who
Where
knows?
does this one fall? Do you know?
We'll have to do another wine tasting.
No,
with you.
no,
This is
it's
the
okay.
second
We
harvest.
can do our own wine.
spot.
Yes,
That's
actually, you can pick the
right,
wines.
right.
There we
I
go. There we go. And see what Chet thinks. That's perfect. That next time, the next wine show we do.
Well, listen, you don't like sweet wines, but let me tell you about a classic.
Except for with Thai
Classic.
food.
Well, I'm willing to
sometimes.
stay
Classic
open-minded.
wine.
I'm just.
I have had some
reporting the
sweet
facts.
Rieslings with Thai food that
Yeah,
was like
exactly.
a marriage
This would be great
heaven.
with spicy Thai food. I
Okay.
guarantee you.
Right.
And a classic pairing is a French sauterne, which is also has residual sugar
Right.
with foie gras.
Ooh,
Mm.
that sounds yummy.
That will curl your fucking toes. Okay, I'm serious.
Interesting. This one's only a 7.5.
I love it.
Interesting. This one's only 7.5% alcohol.
Yeah.
That's like I've had beers that are higher than
So,
7.5.
no,
Interesting.
because-
Well, and I find it
That's
interesting
a lot.
because Chet eats a lot of sweets. Chet, do you? Am I stating
I like
something
desserts.
incorrect?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
I love great sweet wines
it-
because the great sweet
Mhm.
wines have acidity to balance out the sweetness.
Yes.
So that's
When they're
interesting with Chet eating so many sweet desserts and
Ah.
sweet drinks, and he drinks sweet
Yourself?
orange juices and sweet cokes and all that stuff. How you wouldn't like a sweet wine? Interesting.
Yeah, I guess I don't like it.
Cheers, that was
Yeah, I
fun.
love that.
Very mature for his
I
age.
love this.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
no,
You know,
that's
most
do you
people
wanna
his
hear?
age only like wine
That's
if
the
it's like
remainder of
Moscato.
Sorry, what's this
That's the
one?
remainder of
Yeah,
your.
see, I
of
can't do
your-
these. I can't.
Yeah, I
you
know.
liked it so much, yeah.
Bye bye.
Oh, it's too sweet for you?
That's too sweet.
Is it?
Way too sweet.
Okay,
for me.
so here's
Here,
this next
hit me.
one. Oh, okay, hit me.
This is
Here we
not,
go.
it's
Hit
not that
Mandy
sweet
one
at
more time.
all.
That's funny, thank
Well,
you,
we're gonna-
Kinga.
I guess I just only like dry.
Am I
only like
tasting it or
dry.
am I having a full pour?
I basically like touch my tongue to it like a dog and like.
If you had this with spicy Thai food, you'd sing a different tune.
Right.
Okay,
right,
so-
yeah.
I would go.
So
I would
yeah,
go get a dry one. That's what. I would
Did you
do.
taste the acidity
Oh.
in this?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
it's interesting.
You're right. It's very sweet,
right,
but
right.
it is well balanced.
This is not
It
very
is,
sweet.
yeah.
Oh, I
It's
love it.
pretty sweet.
Wow.
It's
But
pretty
I,
sweet
but
to
I
me,
think, but
yeah.
I think you're right. I think it's balanced with the
It's very
acidity, but it's
balanced.
definitely
This-
sweet.
Mhm.
This
this
is
is-
beyond semi-sweet. This is pretty
No, I
sweet.
disagree. This is not sweet. Sweet would be Auslese, Beerenauslese, Trockenbeerenauslese.
This is very sweet to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is.
This is
Yeah.
the sweetest.
This is-
Outside
this
of port,
is-
this is the sweetest wine
This
I've
is
ever
beyond
tried.
some.
You're kidding me.
It's beyond
Really?
semi-sweet.
Yeah, this is
But
very
with
sweet.
food,
But
this would
I
taste so
agree with
different.
you. It's very well balanced.
Right.
I could drink it just the way it is,
Wonderful.
even without food.
The acidity's marvelous.
But with like something a little bit spicy.
I love it.
This would be
Yeah, it's
beautiful
delicious.
with
This
Thai
might be
food.
my favorite. I love it.
Delicious.
But I would eat this with something very spicy.
Yeah, perfect.
Some
Seriously,
of the,
with Thai food, this
Read
would
the
be
back.
absolutely
Read the
insane.
label on the back. What's it say?
here we go.
Yes, here.
She's the reader.
Yes, yes.
Jeanne.
Yes, Heinz Eifel Riesling Spaten is made from late harvested Riesling grapes in the middle Moselle Valley of Germany. The grapes hang into late autumn and ripen each for that they produce a rich, full-bodied white wine. The flavors are loaded with pear, citrus, peach, apricot. Spätlese is an ideal dinner Riesling and also can be enjoyed with riper aged cheeses and spicy
Mhm.
cuisine
Yeah.
due to
Grape
its
cheese.
enhanced complexity.
Yep.
Mm.
So
I
yeah,
love
this is an
Yeah, I really like
fairly
it too.
inexpensive.
I love it.
This is like again under $20,
Right.
but it's a beautiful wine. The Germans know how to make wine. They're very.
They
like-
really do.
Just
Yeah.
like they make cars, they don't fool
Right.
around.
They
with
are
it.
not.
You know,
They,
this-
Chet, what are
they
you
are
gonna
very
do?
underrated
What are
in
you
that
gonna do when
arena.
you're
Their
dating
wine
a girl
should
that
be
goes-
much
I'll
more
tell
well
you.
known than they are.
Great
I'm gonna
chef.
say
experience.
you should know what I like. I don't like sweet wine.
So, no, but what if you're dating a girl that's like, no, I only want a sweet wine?
Then
Then
she
you-
drinks that, and I drink what I
There
like.
you go.
I would-
Exactly.
I would
Why-
say,
why do you have to agree?
I would
Yeah.
say be curious, be adventurous, and keep an open mind.
Right.
That's what I would say.
But it's so
That's
I,
what
I did keep an open mind, and
Yeah.
it was yet
Yeah.
another sweet
And
one
like
I
cheese,
totally
everything.
disliked.
Yeah. No, I
So I
love
kept
it.
an open mind. I went into it with an open mind, but literally I
Take
didn't
another
enjoy
sip
it.
and
You
see.
know what else I think you could
Ugh.
do with this wine? I think you could make amazing wine spritzes with it.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Why
Oh,
not?
that's,
Right,
a,
that's a
that's a
good
great
idea.
idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially
Oh,
when it
that's
is really hot and you don't
Yeah, if
want to
I'm floating
drink a
around in the
lot.
pool, I
Right.
might not want to drink this straight up, but you can make like an amazing spritz.
And that's
out of
Wendy's
it,
favorite thing to
or
do.
Even a sangria.
In
maybe
the summertime, are
with it.
you only in the pool?
Right.
Oh, pretty much, yeah.
She lives in the pool.
Yeah, you're right.
Do a
But-
lot of floating.
But yeah, any woman I would be into would have
As you
good taste
notice,
and also
the
enjoy dry
alcohol is
stuff.
only 7.5%.
Well, she's
Then
gonna,
she gets
which
bonus
makes
points.
this a great brunch wine.
Right.
If I take a girl on a
Very
date,
nice.
she's
Think
like,
about it.
"What's the
Absolutely.
sweetest wine this
No, I'm
place
with
has?"
you.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
You're gonna
everything
be a
is
little
wrong.
turned off.
"Alright, yeah."
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe don't like.
Let me guess, you ordered a
Maybe don't-
steak well done too.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
That's
Either one's
that's
bad.
unforgivable.
This is why when I do a wine tasting.
Either one.
tomorrow
Wine
night,
is subjective.
I have
Well done
people
steak
taste
should
the
not
wine
be.
by
Yeah.
itself first,
Right.
and then
That's
we
for
taste
children.
the same wine with food and see how it changes.
well, and it's true because if somebody makes a well done steak, they're
Just
ruining
ruined
it.
it.
Yeah,
You
they're
completely
ruining it.
ruined it.
Completely. How do you fix your steak?
How do I what?
How do you make your steak?
How do I make it?
I mean, is it well done? Is it
Medium
rare?
rare.
Medium rare. How about
That's
you?
the right
Oh,
answer.
No
That's the
steak
right
for me.
answer.
On the
I'm
rare
the
side.
no
Oh,
carne. I'm the no carne.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Me,
right.
me too, but when I wanted a medium rare. You want to hear the most embarrassing dining experience? I had this total
Yes.
moron client, and every time we took him to eat, he wanted steak, and then he would ask for it filleted, which is a weird thing to even ask for in the
Yeah.
first place. Like, you want your steak like thin,
Yes.
and
that's
then he would say,
Ketchup.
"Well done, but juicy." And I said,
Oh,
"You know what
that's
you're
an
asking for?"
oxymoron.
That's what I said. I'm like, "This is a complete oxymoron." I'm like, "You know all they're gonna do is just pour au jus on it, right? Like that's impossible what you're
Clever.
asking for."
Clever,
Right.
yeah.
And that's what they did. You could tell when it came out. It's like they cut it in half, they destroyed it, and then they just poured a bunch of
Right.
au jus on it to make him happy.
Right.
If you're,
And it probably
was
was.
so embarrassing every time he ordered. I wanted to climb under the
Right.
table. I'm like,
We're going to sushi next time.
yeah,
Right.
go somewhere where there's no
A
steak
lot of
inside.
restaurants will print on the menu, we do not guarantee steaks that are medium well or above.
Yeah,
Right.
Actually, I'm not going to save it. One of my favorite restaurants.
Hillstone does that.
should just refuse it.
That's not my favorite, but
Hillstone says
Say,
that.
we
some
won't
of
do
them,
it.
yeah, they a lot of restaurants will
better.
just say they won't do it.
They won't do it, period, yeah.
Good. They should
Yeah.
just refuse.
They do, they do. So what would you eat this? What would you pair this with?
Well, again, ripe cheeses would be great.
Yeah.
And he said spicy
Uh,
food. He already answered this.
Thai food all day.
Thai food.
But something else, like what else? Would you eat it with blue cheese?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
What about Mexican food?
Yeah, maybe. Depending.
Yeah, depending what it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would drink it with fruit, too.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Double sweet?
No, I wouldn't like that.
Could be nice,
I would,
actually.
Really?
Yeah, fruit and cheese.
fruit
Yeah.
and cheese. I would
I mean,
marinate some fruit in this wine.
Yeah, like I said, it could make a good sangria.
I would do sangria with it. That would be good. Mm-hmm. Okay,
I'm
so
happy to sip it just as it is.
so we have one more wine, the grand finale, the
Oh,
rosé, all day
please.
rosé, and here
Now
we
for
go.
this wine, we're coming home to Arizona.
Okay.
Is this Arizona?
Yeah, baby.
All right, here we go. So Wendy gets a little Arizona.
Why not?
One of my
Wendy,
favorite
I love
wines.
rosés usually.
Yeah, Chet loves
My
rosés.
friend,
Yeah, I love rosé too,
a
usually.
woman I've known for some time in the wine industry named Brooke, and she has a winery called Vino Stash.
I like it.
Cute.
What does Vino Stash mean?
I like the name.
It had to do with her. What was the story?
Is that like a mustache?
grandfather? Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, it's
Sounds
down
like-
in Wilcox,
No, see, I love
Cochise
it.
County.
All right, here we go. And once again, we purchased these wines at Faraway Wines.
Faraway Wines.
And is it Chris French
Chris French and Pat Jasmine.
and Pat Jasmine? Please go support their local store. When you support local
Definitely.
business, what happens, Chet?
Well, it's a trickle-down effect. It's good for the environment. It's good for the economy.
The stone fruits on that Riesling are pretty forward,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah.
So wait, when you support local wine, local stores, local business, you are
Here we
doing
go.
what?
It helps the environment. It helps the local economy. It's massive. It's so sustainable. And so many people like to say like, "Oh, screw Jeff Bezos," but then they go buy all their groceries on Amazon.
Do you know
It's
that
like go support the little local stores and the farmers markets and the
Amen.
local wineries and butchers and all that kind of stuff. Like the more local you shop, you can vote with those dollars and vote in a sustainable way. It's the number one way we can be sustainable, really.
do you ever shop on Amazon? Because I
No,
never do.
no.
I never do. Do you
Love
shop
it.
on Amazon?
Certainly not for anything food related. No.
No,
Okay, good.
No,
So
never.
never?
no.
Good.
Not on Amazon, no.
No
I've
Amazon.
never had
But
any
I do buy food
delivery.
at Whole
Never.
Foods, which
Yeah.
is Amazon.
Okay,
Well,
but
that's
okay,
different.
but I'm not saying only foods.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
guys? I
For
purchased,
non-food things?
I purchased nothing
It
on
depends.
Amazon.
If it's something
Nothing.
that I can't
Rarely.
necessarily just go pick up, then not everything I can just go get down the street. There are some things where it comes in handy, and it's what I needed.
But it's
I'm
not
not-
good for the environment, and it takes.
I don't know. We could debate that a little bit.
Yeah,
if
let's
I have
debate
to, if I have to run all over town to 10 different stores looking to find whatever I'm going to
Exactly.
find, and I drove 50 to 100 miles all over town from store to store trying
That's
to
true.
find something.
That's true.
Or is it better just to have it show up the next day?
But you're in your electric BMW, so it's not really. So
Well,
there's
but we're
no
also
way.
talking about
But
it only
also-
like the one-dimensional aspect of
Oh,
environmental
that's
sustainability.
interesting.
Amazon is also literally trying to like buy every other company up, like
Right,
how he's
right.
talking about how now Whole Foods is owned by Amazon.
Digital going
The-
Oh wait, you're missing this. Hold on, this is important.
Well, basically, just the more you spend with a massive corporation like that, the more power they have.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
And
going to take over the
monopolies
world.
are already creating a lot of issues.
I agree.
so.
I mean, I try to avoid it, but I don't see any reason to have a complete boycott of it.
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Well, there are
I-
some products
well,
that
I
you
do.
literally can't find anywhere else,
Exactly.
and then that
So
makes
there's-
sense. But yeah,
You know, or if it needs something, you know, super fast.
Well,
Yeah.
I
You
do,
know.
and if they hear this and I disappear, you guys know who did it.
Oh my gosh.
So dramatic.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Did
To
you
being
pour the
done.
new one? No, you're
Oh,
still
oh,
drinking
oh,
the old
oh,
one.
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
I gotta get rid of this
Yeah,
one.
it's
Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Is this one of your favorites?
Boom,
I
Ever?
haven't tried it yet.
Boom,
I'm waiting for you.
boom.
to
I'll
get in the
do
game.
the
I'm waiting for you to get in the game, ma'am.
Vino stash.
So this
Great.
wine
I love the
is
nose on it.
is a rare
Let's break into the
rosé-
glass.
There's a beautiful nose.
A rosé of Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah, you can
Okay, say that again. It's a rosé
Cabernet.
of Cabernet.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah, you can get it on the. You can kind
Mhm.
of smell it.
on the
Yeah.
palate.
And that's
Cabernet.
that's
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 nice.
kind of rare.
It
They
is.
don't, you know.
I don't know if I've seen very many Cab rosés.
Yeah, I've had a few.
Ooh, that's very nice.
Yeah, I had
That's
one.
very
I had
good.
one Sunday at the Verde Valley Wine Festival. It was pretty
And
good.
especially in Arizona, I don't think I've seen any rosés that were of Cab.
Yeah, this one. I've had two now. Yeah, I had
I
Very
feel like
good.
most of them
This is
are.
my
I can't
favorite.
think of the grape right now.
I
There's
had
one with an M.
Sunday. Huh?
I feel like most of the Arizona rosés I've seen were a blend of. I can't think of the grape right now.
Mourvedre?
It starts with an M.
There's
Yeah.
Mourvedre.
Yes.
Mourvedre.
That
Mourvedre.
one is in most of
A
them.
lot is Grenache.
And then Grenache.
A lot of Grenache. Yeah.
Those are the two that
Yeah,
I
but there's other
have
ones
seen
that
most in
have-
Arizona.
She's right. I do see
Nice.
that a lot in these blends.
Oh yeah.
But
So
this
this one is different.
could be my favorite.
this is my favorite of the day for sure.
very
This
nice.
is
By a
definitely my
mile.
favorite of the day.
And it's
100%.
interesting. The guy I was talking, I forget what winery I was talking to on Sunday at the Verde Valley Wine Festival, and they were talking about, they had this Cabernet available, and they were going to make, regular Cabernet. Which, frankly, in Arizona, we don't need more Cabernets. We're doing so many other interesting wines here. I wouldn't
Agreed.
care if we did Cabernets at all. But anyway, they said, well, the grapes just weren't making it, so we made rosé, and the rosé was fine. They didn't want to use it to make a full
A full red, yeah.
red, but for rosé, perfect. Fine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And isn't that more sustainable to improvise like that?
Well, sure.
Well, rather than throw the grapes out, sure.
We're gonna throw 'em out.
Yes, but they wouldn't do that anyway, right?
Well,
They would just
probably not.
blend something
Listen,
together.
any bad grapes, you know what you can do? You can make industrial alcohol. You ferment it, then it gets distilled.
Grappa.
Huh?
Is it called grappa?
Grappa is.
Grappa. Grappa.
Yeah.
Grappa.
That's not industrial alcohol. It may
No,
taste like it,
no.
but it's
Some of it tastes like it though. But,
It's crappa.
This is a beautiful
Have you tried
story.
grappa?
Did you read this story?
Yeah.
You
Good
know, I love
It is a
this.
good joke.
I think you should read this. You know what I mean?
Okay, can you read it to us?
Oh,
Okay,
sure.
read it to us.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I
Here we
really
go.
love
To
this.
pair it
You know,
with food
Vino
wise.
Stash Winery is a story about making wine from some of the most beautiful vineyards in Arizona. Our wines are the characters in a story of an area where cowboys still roam the hills.
Hmm.
Patsy Cline, who I had a dog named Patsy Cline, and I love Patsy Cline. Patsy
I
Cline.
love Patsy
So does
Cline.
my dad.
Yes.
And Marty Robbins play
Yeah.
on the radio, and
Yeah.
a slower way of life is all preserved.
Hmm.
Sunrises and sunsets are the daily entertainment, and stars emerge at night so bright you feel as if you can reach out and grab them.
Oh, that's beautiful.
See?
It is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Poetry.
I
Yeah.
love it.
And
this wine is pure
Yeah.
poetry.
Does it say what we should
Yeah.
pair
You
it
have to drink a lot if you
And-
feel like you can grab a star though. It's
giving,
like 2
Listen,
bottles. at
This is the
least.
important part.
Okay.
That's
Pay
not
attention.
alcohol chat.
Pay attention.
giving
Okay.
back a portion of our wine sales every year go to a local Arizona charity.
Wow.
For more information, visit our website at
Wow.
vinostash.com. phoenixphoenix.com.
I wonder if they
Hey,
would like
why
to
don't we
donate
have
to
them on the
UMOM.
show?
Yes, we
We
should.
could say
Okay, who's gonna reach out to them?
I will.
She will.
Yeah.
See,
Rich-
she-
if
I
Rich
know
this is
them.
likes
adorable.
it.
This
He
makes
knows
okay.
them. So
Wait,
yeah.
pass it back. I want to
But
get
this
one
makes
more.
me feel good about the show because
Love that.
she said to me, I love what you guys are doing. I love your shows. I love everything about it. And I want to start sourcing people that are doing good for the planet, doing good for the world and each other. And because she said, I do all this real estate. I do all this, and I'm making money and I'm successful, but I want to give back. And I want to be part of the show, and I want to be, which is so nice.
Much, and there's so much going on right here
And she-
in Phoenix.
Yeah.
You know, we see so much
Yes,
in
yes. Yeah, we haven't mentioned that.
development in our greater
Yeah.
Phoenix area. And we see a lot of things that we
mention that.
don't feel so happy about, and
Yeah.
it's exciting in some ways that people want to move here. But there's a
Yeah,
lot
but-
that we can do to, and it's all on us to.
And
try
it's
to-
super sweet because like she thought of me on Mother's Day
yeah.
and said Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
to a
Well, it's
great
because I
mother.
know you
So
love
nice.
the children too.
And yeah,
Nice.
she's met Rachel. You met
Mhm.
Rachel the first time you met me.
Yes.
Yes.
And I haven't met your mom yet. I'm sure
Oh,
actually.
she's
I'm sure I
amazing.
probably
Isn't she
have-
amazing?
Yeah.
adorable. I
Isn't
want
she funny?
put her in my
Andrea,
pocket.
she's
Right.
something else.
Right.
She was so funny. She was having so much fun last
Oh,
night.
I bet.
She was drinking wine up at the rooftop, and it was super. Thank you. And she started dancing, and then she was like, I don't know. There was this couple that was looking at the view on the rooftop, and they were like kind of kissing and kind of being in love. And my mom goes, "Go take their picture."
Oh,
Super cute. So I go
Oh,
take their
I love that.
picture, and I end up meeting them. And they're this couple that met on Coffee and Bagels in New York
told
City.
her
They
that,
moved
yeah.
here
Yeah,
about
okay.
6 years ago. They've been married. Apparently, it's some site where you like have to respond to somebody like immediately and make a move on them, or that you get deleted. Like there's no waiting around. There's
Yeah.
no messing around.
Okay.
Yeah, so they like that site, and they ended up meeting each other. He's an actor, he's a voiceover, and she's a jeweler, and she's a diamond broker.
Wow.
Wow.
Anyway, they just moved here, and they don't know anybody,
Oh.
and they're gonna come on the show. I think their love story is amazing.
It
Yeah,
is,
Yeah.
it
yeah, and it's
is.
all because my mom said go take their picture.
See,
Isn't that sweet? I think that's
one
really
thing
sweet.
always leads to another.
And then there was a guy in a wheelchair with no legs. And I want to tell a story. He's going to be on the show soon. He's a NBA player, all-star basketball player. He did so much with basketball. Took it to the NBA, and he went to visit his brother that he hadn't seen in a while. And two of his family members were in that car with him. They
Oh,
died
God.
instantly,
Oh, God.
and the car crash amputated his legs. And
How long ago?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I didn't ask him all those details because we're just,
in his mid-30s, she
he-
said.
like,
right?
What's
he's
his-
35.
what's his
he's
name?
35. John Flowers.
Okay, cool.
John Flowers. And now all he does is helping children with basketball
Oh,
and encouraging,
beautiful.
and has these basketball camps, and he's really buff and he's got these big muscles, and he was just like the star of the bar up at the rooftop.
Nice.
And everybody, and I said, you were so cool. His vibe is so positive and happy. And I thought, oh, I know how we got into that subject because I was with my friend Diane as well. And she lost her husband and her mother within 6 days of each other. And so that's why I included her on Mother's Day with the luncheon with Rachel,
Oh, good.
because it was her first Mother's Day without her mom and without her husband. So anyway, I was with her and we were talking about that, and then he goes, well, I lost my legs and my brother and my mother. I'm not sure if it's his mother or father, but
Right.
anyway, and so
Family.
that's how we started talking, and that's how we became
Wow.
friends, and he's gonna be on the show soon. So I'm
Nice.
excited.
Hey, very
Yes.
good.
Inspiration, people that are helping others, that's what we're about, making a difference. Tell us about the charity that you are involved in.
Very proud to sit on the board of directors for UMOM.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Day centers.
Yes.
Very
It's all
familiar.
about eradicating homelessness. It's
Yeah.
a rapid rehousing model. We specialize in families and women specifically. We have a few other properties that kind of help with veterans a little bit. For the most part, it's families and women.
And wait, what's the name of this organization? Because
UMOM.
everybody right now is talking about how the homeless
Yeah.
issue is one of the biggest
Mm-hmm.
crises
Yeah.
in the country.
It is.
There's so few people actually doing anything about it.
Yeah.
So this is massive that it's a
Yeah.
actual organization helping.
I
with
told you Joe
rehousing.
would be all about it.
Yeah. It's a phenomenal organization, extremely well run, totally local,
Yeah.
and like I said again before, it's a rapid rehousing model. So it's I look at it as a hand up, not a handout. So first thing is get people into shelter off the street. A lot of the families that are we're helping out are living in their cars in the meantime, if not worse.
So sad.
Right?
Yeah.
So sad. We gotta help.
Yeah, best case scenario, they're living in their cars, but get them into shelter first. So we have a number of shelters throughout the valley, and then once they're in shelter and safe, there's everything from social workers to job training. There's like on-site daycare. We even have a partnership with Boys and Girls Club. Phoenix Children's Hospital has Phoenix Children's Hospital even has a clinic on site. I mean, it's like full services. Everything from the kitchen on site where we serve the clients. They can also work there, get food handlers cards. There's a cafe that's open to the public called Helpings Cafe on Van Buren. It's at the main campus. So if anybody wants to just go down and have lunch at Helpings, it's actually really good. And all that money goes back into UMOM.
Let's go.
Everybody working.
Wait, where's that?
On Van Buren and 32nd Street. Just
It's called Helpings.
Helpings Cafe. Yeah, it's
Let's go.
just east of 32nd Street on Van Buren on the south side of the street. And so when you eat at Helpings, all of that food, all that money not only is going back into UMOM, but everybody that's serving your food are clients at UMOM that are, working to stabilize themselves and get back out in the real world. Not the real world, they're in the real world even more than we are, to be honest. So then there's even like a partnership with
Getting
Starbucks.
them productive.
They can even learn Starbucks barista training, and then they can go from there to work at Starbucks, and then Starbucks, will help.
So
pay for
Starbucks
college.
partners with them?
Yep, and then we even have like a computer lab on site where they can not only write resumes, get help with applying for jobs, pay for clothing or transportation for interviews and stuff. So then the next step is get them some income. And then we have not only our own affordable housing units, but ones we partner with the city of Phoenix on. Shout out to the city of Phoenix. They actually give a lot of money to UMOM, and there's a reason why Phoenix doesn't look like Portland, if you know what I mean. And so then they can move into the affordable housing, and then from there, many move on to, out of affordable housing into they're totally back on their feet, sustainable. We average about 90 days getting people through shelter into affordable housing.
That's incredible.
It's an incredible organization. Yeah, so I've been sitting on that board
and
for
you don't really hear
5
about
years.
it that much. I mean,
No. There are
that's
some big donors in town that have been very, very generous. And
They've
then,
been
like I
around
said,
for a while, haven't they?
it's been around for a very long time. It was originally started by the Methodist Church, no longer any religious affiliation, but there's still tons of spiritual support on site. There's even a chapel on site and stuff like that.
And how do people spell it if they're like wanting to Google it right now to donate?
UMOM New Day Centers.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Chet.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yay.
Yeah.
When my
That's so
sister
smart.
was in Phoenix Rotary Club, that's how I learned about UMOM.
Yeah. It's sort of known, but yeah, spread the word.
But that's what
It's
we're
one of the
about.
best-
We're here.
It's one of the most local.
So Wendy, you know that
foundations
we're
to
here to
donate to.
spread the word
Yep.
about helping others,
Yeah.
and that is definitely great that you're on that board.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
Cheers for that.
Thank you for letting me talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh my! Are you kidding me? Can we get the people from that on?
Yes,
here
if you want to
and-
have a show with UMOM
Yes.
specifically or
Yes.
other foundations.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
and somebody, and maybe
Yes.
somebody that they've helped.
Oh, yes.
That would be
Oh, there's
incredible.
some really incredible stories that blow
That's what
your
I would love.
mind. And
Yes.
there's a lot of misconceptions too about how people end up on the street. A lot of
Sure.
times it's a medical bill that has
Yep.
just
Yep.
knocked them out.
Number
There
one-
can be
Medical
number one
condition.
cause of
Yeah.
bankruptcy in
Yeah.
this country.
Yeah. So it's not always what people think.
Well,
it
I
is,
understand
especially
that
when it comes to the
because
families and women.
My
Right.
dad was in and out of the hospital for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And even though he had great insurance, I mean, it nearly wiped out my mom.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
their gallery. Yes.
It can.
Because it was 2 years.
Even with supplemental insurance,
Yes.
everything, it
Yes.
doesn't matter.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
it really
Well,
doesn't. And then,
Yes.
you know,
Which is so
obviously-
ridiculous because we're the richest country of all time.
Oh.
We have all this hundreds of billions of dollars to spend on the military every year, and yet somehow we still have to pay for health care. It's ridiculous that we put up with that.
American exceptionalism.
Yeah.
Well, I love America.
Well, and also
I'm pro America. I love America.
The whole
and we
point
can't
of
be
America,
perfect,
the whole point of America is that we're
but-
always trying to improve, and it's the wildest thing that we're like such a developed country, but we don't have health care for all. It's
But that's why
ridiculous.
we're trying to bring awareness, and that's what this show is about. We're trying to save the planet.
One
One
show at a time. But it's just
and-
crazy
and-
that we invest billions of dollars in instruments of death that hopefully will never get used. But meanwhile, we could be spending all that money on healthcare, making our population more healthy and happy. It's
and
insane.
improving our school systems
Yeah.
as well.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
because
that's a
so
big one.
much of this is also has to do with education. And,
Yeah.
and after, you know, even after high school.
But it's also like a trickle down effect.
Yeah.
So many
So we have
parents
about
have to
3 more
work
minutes.
so many hours because they have to pay for healthcare.
We have about
Yeah.
3 more minutes, and so I want to say, let's bring that awareness. We need to keep talking about this, but let's appreciate what is good in our country
Absolutely.
and spread positivity, because that brings people together. I mean, you know, you can't get anywhere with like,
well,
you know,
taking action like Wendy.
Yes,
You know, I'm
thank
sure
you.
you have a lot of other
You're helping
things
homeless
you could
people.
do with your spare time, but you're making that
Thank you.
time to
Yes.
step up and
Yes.
you know make a difference in your community.
Thank you.
yeah. So let's do a show all about
Yeah,
There is a
absolutely.
lot.
Hey, you
going
might want to
on.
pick your mic up. I think the way you're resting it is.
All of a sudden we can't hear it.
Don't hold it at the bottom. Don't
Yeah.
hold it at the bottom.
Speaking of that.
Can you hear me now?
Hold it
don't,
by the
don't hold
plastic
it at
part.
the bottom.
Hold it by this part.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Ah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Did we not hear any of that? Do we have to go back?
No. It was just.
It's popping.
Yeah, it's okay though. Just continue forward.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes left.
Okay, so thank you so much, Wendy.
Oh,
Thank you so
yeah.
much, Janae.
Fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Richard. We
Our-
love the
Our
wines.
wine expert, our in-house wine
Yay.
expert.
How do people find you, Richard Betts?
Well, they have to look very hard.
Smoke signals.
You have a pigeon.
To find me, you know.
You're the professional wine
The
now.
carrier pigeon.
Find them in the hills
Rich-
of the Phoenix Preserve.
So contact In the Green Room on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll let you know how to find him. And we're looking forward to doing a show with
Yeah.
UMOM,
Yeah.
and you're going to arrange that.
Absolutely.
And
Happy to.
Janae,
Yes.
what are we working on?
Well, tomorrow we have a lovely young couple from the wife is from here
Yes.
originally, and she is a photographer and a graduate of School of Design in the clothing industry, and they do.
Oh, and they know
weddings-
Chet. They know
and
Chet.
They went to high school
Oh, very
with.
cool.
They
yeah,
went to high
with
school
her
with you.
son,
They're coming on the
yeah.
show. We're doing a show tomorrow.
Well,
We're
and,
recording one.
and her
Tomorrow?
husband
Yes,
Arthur.
yes.
And
Wait,
Arthur,
what family was that? I was right in the middle of posting something.
Yes, and Arthur, the husband, is from France. They met in L.A. and he is a photographer and many.
His
different
wife
things.
is a girl that went to school with you, and
Yes.
the younger brother knows you really well.
Yes.
And we're doing a show, and she married a French guy, and he does
So
all
who
this
is
French
it?
cooking.
What-
He
what-
does.
That's a
It's from
secret.
the-
Let's not tell him.
Okay, okay.
We'll tell
No,
him
I
after
want
the
to know
show.
who it is.
But I don't know if I want to announce it right now.
But, Arthur does Airbnb.